and welcome to Culture Cafe, a weekly feature brought to you by Coffee Before Pants, where we go over the history of literature, film, and music for the week of June 22nd. But before I start, I would like to thank my sponsor for this and my other podcast. The sponsor for today's Coffee Before Pants video is The Book Deal, Madison's premier place to find new and used books. With over 30,000 books in every category, you are sure to find your next book for your TBR list. I go there almost every weekend and never fail to find something to read. That's The Book Deal, 3822 Mineral Point Road in Madison, Wisconsin. They also have online shopping at thebookdeal.com. On Saturday, June 28th, that's this coming Saturday, The Book Deal is celebrating its 7th anniversary. There will be birthday cake and a prize wheel where you can win store deals and merchandise. Stop on by. So let's dive into Culture Cafe. June 22nd, 1936 marks the birthday of singer, songwriter, and actor Kris Kristofferson. As a singer-songwriter, Kristofferson was known for hits such as Me and Bobby McGee, made famous by Janis Joplin, Sunday Morning Coming Down, made famous by Johnny Cash, and Pilgrim Chapter 33. Kristofferson moved easily into acting, starring in such films as Cisco Pike, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, one of my favorites, John Sayles' Lone Star, and Blade, among many, many others. Kristofferson died on September 24th, 2024, at the age of 88. June 22nd, 1956, recording began on saxophonist Sonny Rollins' album Saxophone Colossus. The album was Rollins' sixth studio album and is considered by many to be Rollins' breakthrough album. The personnel on the album include Sonny Rollins, of course, on tenor sax, Tommy Flanagan on piano, and Doug Watkins on bass, drummer Max Roach. In 2016, Saxophone Colossus was selected for preservation in the National Registry of Recording by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. June 22nd, 1969, actress and singer Judy Garland died at the age of 47 from an accidental overdose of barbiturates. Known most famously for her role as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz, Garland was an icon of Hollywood's golden era, appearing in such hit films as Meet Me in St. Louis, Easter Parade, Judgment at Nuremberg, and the first remake of Star is Born, out of 4, I believe, for which she was nominated an Oscar. June 22nd, 1971, Joni Mitchell released her celebrated 4th album, Blue. The album features several of Canadian singer-songwriters' most enduring songs, such as California, A Case of You, and River. Blue was a commercial success upon its release, landing in the top 10 in the UK and Canada, and peaking at number 15 in the US. June 24th, 1842, writer and journalist Ambrose Bierce was born in Meigs County, Ohio. Bierce wrote the short story An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge, as well as the book The Devil's Dictionary, which has been called a masterpiece of American literature. Aside from his fiction writing, Bierce excelled in journalism, as well as pioneering the genre of realist fiction in America. June 24th, 1971, Warner Brothers releases McCabe and Mrs. Miller, a Western film by Robert Altman starring Warren Beatty and Julie Christie, with songs by Leonard Cohen. According to Wikipedia.com, the film has received critical acclaim in the years since its release and has earned an Oscar nomination for Christie in the Best Actress category. The film was deemed the 8th greatest Western of all time by the American Film Institute in its AFI's Top 10 list and in 2008, and in 2010 was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. June 25th, 1903, Eric Blair, also known by his pen name as George Orwell, was born in Motihari, British-occupied India. As a young man, Orwell became infatuated with socialist ideals, even attending meetings of the Communist Party for a short time. However, he became disillusioned by the party and focused his efforts on attacking totalitarian governments through his fiction. His novels 1984 and Animal Farm are widely read in schools and among regular readers. In fact, Orwell's books have experienced a resurgence in readership in the past few years due to the growing tension in American politics. June 25th, 1976, supernatural horror film The Omen premieres in the U.S., directed by Richard Donner, as same director as Superman, starring Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, Billy Whitelaw, and David Warner. The Omen received mixed reviews from critics, but was a commercial success, grossing over $60 million at the U.S. box office and becoming one of the highest grossing films in 1976. This film was remade in 2006, but I wouldn't bother. Just watch the original. A very unnecessary remake. June 25th, 1982, science fiction film Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Rutger Hauer and Harrison Ford, is released. It was adapted from a short story, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. There are seven different versions of Blade Runner as a result of controversial changes requested by studio execs. A director's cut was released in 1992 after a strong response to test screenings of a work print. This, in conjunction with the film's popularity as a video rental, made it one of the earliest films to be released on DVD. In 2007, Warner Brothers released the Final Cut, a 25th anniversary digitally remastered version. This is the only version over which Scott retained artistic control. In the off chance you have never seen the film, I recommend the Final Cut version. It doesn't have the narration by Harrison Ford, which distracts from the film, and it just makes more sense than the initial theater release. June 26, 1925, the silent film The Gold Rush, directed, starring, and written by Charlie Chaplin, premiered at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood. It became the fifth highest grossing silent film of all time. There is a quite famous shoe eating scene where Chaplin eats a boiled shoe. The shoe was actually made of licorice. Chaplin was a bit of a perfectionist, so to get the scene exactly how he wanted, they took 63 takes over 3 days. Does anyone like licorice that much? June 26, 1957, Thelonious Monk recorded Epistrophe with a band that included both Coleman Hawkins and John Coltrane. It is now considered a jazz standard and Thelonious Monk's signature tune. In fact, it shows up on almost every single live album by Thelonious Monk. June 26, 2008, Total Guitar Magazine voted Celine Dion's rendition of the AC/DC song You Shook Me All Night Long as the world's worst cover version ever. In the best cover versions list, Jimi Hendrix was voted into first place with his version of Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower. The Beatles' rendition of Twist and Shout, first recorded by the Top Notes, was in second place, followed by the, you gotta be kidding me, Guns N' Roses' version of the Wings song Live and Let Die? Seriously? You gotta be kidding me. Axl Rose should be tried for murder for butchering this song so badly. Just my opinion. June 27th, 1872, poet, novelist, and playwright Paul Laurence Dunbar was born in Dayton, Ohio. Dunbar is best remembered for writing the lyrics for the musical In Dahomey, the first all-black musical produced on Broadway. Dunbar also wrote many poems and short stories. Unfortunately, Dunbar's life was cut short by tuberculosis at the age of 33. June 28th, playwright and author Luigi Pirandello was born in Sicily. Pirandello was a prolific writer of fiction and won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1934 for his almost magical power to turn psychological analysis into good theater. Well, that about covers it for this week. If you like Culture Cafe, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want notifications for when I drop a new video, click the subscribe button. I will be back next Sunday with another Culture Cafe and next Monday with a new Coffee Before Pants podcast. I would like to thank my viewers and listeners and supporters for helping me with my endeavors. And once again, thanks to the Book Deal for supporting my channel. Take care and don't forget to support your local independent bookstore and your local library. Until next week.